Welcome to Beyond the Snapshot, the intentional use of photos to highlight growth and development. This session is presented by GEAR, a program offered by the OEC. It is funded through the Governor's Education Emergency Relief Fund in partnership with NEAT and the RESC Alliance and all our kin. My name is Tracy Protz. I am an early childhood education specialist for CREC Resource Group, and my contact is tprotz@crec.org. The goals for today's sessions are as follows. Understand the importance of intentional documentation. Align photos with learning domains. Create a learning narrative, and analyze the role photos can play in your reflective practice. Everyone loves a snapshot. Why do we love taking photos so much? Well, take a moment to consider one of your favorite snapshots. How does it make you feel? What memories does it conjure up? We love to take photos because they capture moments that matter to us. We get to preserve memories, emotions, and milestones. They allow us to relive experiences, celebrate achievements, and share stories with others. In early childhood education, photos are a powerful tool for highlighting growth, showcasing learning, and connecting with families. They help us see the beauty in everyday moments. While everyone loves cute snapshots of children smiling and posing, I encourage you as an educator to consider how you can use photos intentionally in the classroom. Look beyond the cute factor and consider how photos can serve a better purpose. What is the role of intentional documentation in the classroom? One reason is for assessment. Photos can be used to assess a child's development and to create a story of their progress in learning. Another reason is instruction. Photos can be posted on the walls for children to reflect on and extend their learning. A third reason may be communication. Photos can be used to communicate with parents and families about their child's development. And finally, they can be used for a celebration of learning. Photos can highlight a child's learning journey. Let's move on to how we can use photos for assessment and instruction. So much of learning and instruction is centered around a child's developmental milestones. How can photos capture developmental milestones and everyday learning experiences? Let's take a look at the child in this photo. What does this picture tell us about the child's developmental milestones and everyday experiences? Around 10 to 12 months, babies start stacking objects and are typically able to stack one block or cup on top of another. By 18 to 24 months, children can typically stack about 4 blocks. This photo shows that this child may be working with an adult on the developmental skill of stacking. There are other things this child may be working on as well. We can't hear what's happening in the picture, but the adult may be asking the child to find cups that are specific colors or modeling how to count the cups as they stack. This photo also documents some one-to-one time with an adult, where the adult may be modeling vocabulary for the child, like the words cup or stack or on top. As you can see, this photo is much more than just a cute picture of a child playing. As teachers, we want to use photos to capture learning. They will help us later when we want to show evidence of a mastered skill or share the child's learning journey with his or her family. Take a few moments to look at these pictures. Then practice identifying what developmental skills the child may be working on. In the first picture, we see a baby crawling. Between 6 to 12 months, babies typically move with purpose by creeping, crawling, or rolling. In the second picture, a boy is pouring his milk into a cup. Between 3 to 4 years, children are typically able to pour liquids from a pitcher. Take another moment to identify what developmental skills the children in this photo may be working on. By ages 3 to 4, children are typically able to act out scenarios related to familiar roles: mom, dad, doctor, etc. Here we can see the boys are pretending to give babies a bath. One child is using a washcloth to wash a baby's tummy, while another child looks like he is rinsing a baby's hair with a bottle of water. Connecting photos with learning domains. Here is a page from Connecticut's Early Learning and Development Standards, also known as the CTLs. This page has been taken from the cognition learning domain, and we are specifically looking at strand B up here in orange. Early learning experiences will support children to use logic and reasoning. We're going to take a look down here, the second row where it says symbolic representation, and we're going to move from left to right to explore the learning progressions of pretend play. So we may start here, C18-9, and it says children engage in pretend play with realistic objects. And then we can follow along the learning progressions all the way here to C6013, right here, C6013. Engage in extended pretend play scenarios and display recognition of the difference between pretend or fantasy situations and reality. Aligning pictures with learning standards helps you better document and share learning with parents. For more information about the CTLs, you can use the photo app on your phone to scan this QR code. It will take you to a page on the OEC website that will provide more information, including the detailed standards. Some tips when taking pictures. Be intentional about the pictures you take. Photos with children posing are cute, but they don't always show authentic classroom scenarios. Try to capture moments where the children are engaged in learning. Consider how they represent learning or developmental milestones and then connect them to learning domains. Consider all learning domains: cognition, physical development, math, science, social emotional development, etc. When sharing with parents, be sure to block out the faces of other children and focus solely on the one you want to represent. Confidentiality is important, and parents will appreciate your respect. Finally, try to jot down details about your photos as soon as you can. We always think we will remember the details, but you may find you go back to share a photo days later and the important details are forgotten. How do I create a photo-based learning narrative? There are several ways to create a learning narrative through pictures. One way is to take a series of pictures in one moment and use them to tell a story. Another way is to take photos over a series of days or weeks and create a learning narrative. Let's look at some examples. This is an article published in Edutopia in 2022 about documenting student learning. In this article, a teacher details how she uses a series of snapshots to create a learning story about a child who is building a scale. Please pause this video, take out your camera, and scan the QR code above to read the article. Once you're done reading, unpause and continue with the video when you are done. Okay. Let's try it yourself. These are pictures the educator in the article used to create a learning story. Take a few moments to consider the learning story you might tell using these pictures. You can jot them down as you think of them. Okay, without being there and knowing the child, it can be difficult to tell the story. Perhaps you told a story of a child who was filling bowls with rocks and then decided to use a stick to create a balance. He figured out that the stick must go under the handles of each bowl. When he tried to lift the stick, both bowls fell down. The rocks rolled out. This child is learning about balance as well as cause and effect. How do I use photos to engage in reflective teaching practice? Photos can help teachers capture a moment of learning and use it to reflect on their next steps for instruction. Photos can be a powerful tool in planning learning activities and materials of interest. For this activity, you will again have to pause the video and use your camera app to scan the QR code on the screen. You will take time to read the article from NEYC called Photographs and learning progressions, supports for intentional assessment and instruction in mathematics. When you are done reading, you'll unpause and continue the video, and you will be prompted to reflect on what you read. For this activity, again, you will pause the video and use your camera app to scan the QR code on the screen. This will take you to a Padlet where you can post about the article and read what other professionals have also posted. Once you pull up the Padlet, it will look like this in blue, and you will see a series of questions. The first one says, reflect on what this quote from the article means to you. Photos help teachers make sense of children's mathematical thinking outside the classroom moment and plan future instruction more intentionally. You will click here where it says add comment, and you can comment your response to this question. You can also, once other professionals have commented, go back and respond to their comment or reply, or you could also simply like it with a heart. This is a great way to interact with peers virtually and asynchronously. If you are interested in learning more about documenting children's work, scan this QR code for an article published in NEYC's Young Children in March 2008 called The Power of Documentation in the Early Childhood Classroom. If you are interested in seeing more examples of learning stories, you can also scan this QR code for an article published in NEYC's Young Children in 2021 called Learning Stories, Observation, Reflection, and Narrative in Early Childhood Education. Are you interested in additional support? Professional learning is available at no cost for you, your staff, and families. Please visit our Learning Hub at sites.google.com/aces.org/gear-online-learning-hub/home. Or you can contact Lisa Seals at lseals@aces.org. This concludes our session, Beyond the Snapshot, the intentional use of photos to highlight growth and development, presented by GEAR, a program offered by the OEC. Thank you for joining me today.